Coming second to the United States in basketball is something most people would call a remarkable effort. Doing it twice you might call frustrating. 3 times in a row, well, that's just annoying. Australia's women basketballers are determined to turn the tables in London, and as Ben Knight reports, a young giant making her Olympic debut could be their trump card.
At 6'8", you could be forgiven for thinking that Liz Cambage was born to play basketball. But as a kid, she never even considered it.
Growing up, I had a lot of ambition. I was always such an arty child and drawing and writing, but it wasn't until I made the AIS when I was 15, and that's when I decided this is what my career will be.
Liz Cambage was born in the UK. Her Nigerian father stayed behind when she came back to Australia with her mum at the age of 6. They settled on Victoria's well-heeled Mornington Peninsula.
I don't know that there were any black kids in the school, and she was different. She was a bit chubby, she was different, she was, a bit out there, and she really struggled to make friends and felt a bit bullied. And I came in one day and she was in her room and she was crying. It was probably the toughest thing I've ever been through as her parent, because nobody wants to see their baby upset or hurting or saying that they want to be dead.
So Julia Cambage began looking for an activity outside of school. Basketball was one of them, but it wasn't an instant success.
I wasn't very sporty growing up, so I hated it. I hated the whole, getting out of bed to go train and having to put your shoes on and run around and physical contact.
It was evident that there was something really gifted about her as an athlete, even though she couldn't dribble, catch or pass. But she's come a long way.
Elizabeth Cambage from Australia.
10 years on, Liz Cambage is a rising superstar of the sport. Last year, she was the second player picked in the national draft of the American WNBA. Only one Australian player has topped that. Now, the two of them are playing on the same team, at opposite ends of their careers.
There's nothing much I can really say to her except just really enjoy the ride.
Congratulations to Lauren Jackson.
Lauren Jackson should know. She can lay claim to being the greatest ever Australian basketballer, male or female. 3 times she's been named the most valuable player in the American WNBA. 3 times she's won an Olympic silver medal. She and the rest of this team desperately want to make it gold in London.
Everyone keeps talking about the gold medal, we need the gold medal, this, that and the other. But, we've got a lot to do before we get to that point.
When Australia won silver in Beijing, Liz Cambage was 16 years old on a scholarship at the Australian Institute of Sport.
I remember staying up to about, I think it was 1 o'clock in the morning with all the girls in my bedroom, and we were watching the gold medal game, and the girls had just got so close, but it was so far, and watched Penny Taylor play basketball and, an ankle snapped in half, and just admiring them and their courage just to keep going.
This time, injury has forced Penny Taylor out, and that's put more pressure on the younger members of the Opals squad to lift. This team is still getting to know each other. They played at the World Championships in the Czech Republic 2 years ago, and it was thought they might even beat the United States back then, but it didn't go to plan at all.
We didn't think about Czech Republic, where, the tournament was being played, where sometimes the referees might be a little bit biased. Sometimes the home team, if the president's watching, at the game, on the court, they might shoot the lights out of the ball. We might miss a few chippies and lose a game. And we lost the quarter-final and we were out.
This time, they're not looking so far ahead, but they are making sure they spend as much time together as a team as they can.
All our athletes play offshore, so our time together is minimal and critical, and that's why this time together is so important for this particular team, so that we can build chemistry and go into the Olympics as a tight-knit team of basketballers that can perform like a great team.
Lauren Jackson and Liz Cambage are often compared, but not by each other and not by their coach.
They're really different people. I mean, the similarity is they're young and they're big and they've had huge potential. That's about as far as it goes. She's got size. She's got to make herself become a great basketball player through the work and the love of the game. And I think when she matures emotionally and physically and gets a real sense for this game, she could be something exceptionally special.
There are high hopes for this team. But even if they make the final, they still have to walk on against Team USA, the best in the world and Australia's 3-time nemesis at the Olympics.
Before my first game against the US, I was so scared and strung out. I look back on it and I'm like, that's so silly, how nervous. Like, I had a panic attack. But it was from the tip, I was ready. It was time to go, time to work.
Each week, more players are cut from the Opals squad as they select the best team they can to put on the court in London. No one's place is guaranteed. But Liz Cambage has more than just height on her side.
She's just not a tall girl. She's an incredible athlete, and I've, you know, and of course I'm biased, but I just find it magical to watch her, you know, come up the court with the ball in her hand, and it almost makes my heart burst.